This work schedule example that we covered in our previous video may also be closely related to a payroll system, right? So here we also have hourly employees, salaried employees, and other types. And this is an example of a use case diagram. So the use case diagram is going to be the subject of a number of videos that we're going to be doing on this type of the diagram. And it's a very high level capture of the functions available in the system. So basically these bubbles represent major functions available in the system. So the system typically is placed inside a box and it's given a name, and it has a type of users or actors on the left hand side, which are primary actors, and on the other side, on the right hand side, we normally specify the secondary actors, such as administration, maintenance, and this type of users that basically don't use the system as on as regular basis as the primary actors do. And overall, this set of bubbles roughly, typically, at least for primary actors, oftentimes correspond directly to, like here, to functions of the system. For instance, since this WhatsApp messenger that we have here, all of these things that you can go to, like start making calls, viewing chats, looking at the contacts, adding new contacts, all of these actions that when you click and navigate through series of these screens, and of course you eventually you'll see the chat screen here, those things, those steps, this navigation through the system is actually taking user through a series of use cases. For instance, adding new contact is a use case. Starting a chat is a use case, so these are the examples that oftentimes correspond as directly as this to an actual user interface in terms of comparing them to these bubbles. And so you can call these bubbles functions or features available in the system. So the idea is that this diagram normally should look as simple as possible. Of course, a use case diagram could never replace a formal description of the system in form of actual documentation, but this provides a very distinct view of functions which are available in the system and what kind of users are going to be able to access these functions. Overall, sometimes its content, the set of features represented by use case diagram, may not be covering the entire system, but it needs to be complete at least for a distinct specific module in the system, like for instance set of classes, set of certain components responsible for time management and payroll processing, and some other parts of the system could have additional use cases, but it should be used as a complete set of features available in a specific component of the system, or more often the entire system. Use cases are very, very user-friendly. They're very direct and specific. They're not object-oriented. They're very direct in terms of the tasks that the system is capable of performing. And because of the list of tasks generally corresponds to the set of requirements that the system has to provide in terms of the functionality, it gives a very nice basis foundation for analyzing the requirements of a system. So it's a very high level and captures the functionality of the system very, very directly, very nicely. So it's the power of use case diagram.